fuel pump, and the next day I got me an engine and a trunk. Then I got me a transmission and all the chrome. The little things I could get in my big lunchbox, like nuts and bolts and all four shocks, but the big stuff we snuck out my buddy's mobile home.
The station Central Florida turns to first for live team coverage of breaking news. News Talk AM 580 WDBO Orlando, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
From ABC News, I'm Richard Cantu. Well, it is December. A major winter storm is hammering the upper Midwest.
6 states, including Minnesota, currently under either blizzard watches or blizzard warnings. We also have winter storm warnings extending for 10 states from North Dakota all the way east to Ohio.
Meteorologist Chicago Windler at ABC Minneapolis affiliate KSTP. 8 to 18 inches of snow forecast there. The main airport in Minneapolis is closed, forcing the New York Giants team plane to put down in Kansas City. The Giants scheduled to play at the Minnesota Vikings tomorrow afternoon. Mike Garofalo covers the Giants for the Newark Star-Ledger.
The team has been rerouted. They're in Kansas City. They're kind of having meetings and playing some games in the airport there, and then they're going to move over to the Chiefs facility for a walkthrough, or at least that's the plan.
One of imprisoned Ponzi schemer Bernard Madoff's sons has taken his own life. 46-year-old Mark Madoff found dead in his New York City apartment.
On the second anniversary of his father's arrest, Bernie Madoff's son Mark hanged himself. His body was discovered about 7:30 a.m. by his father-in-law. His 2-year-old child was home. His 4-year-old was out with his wife Stephanie. Mark Madoff and his brother Andrew turned their father in, but have come under constant speculation. In a statement, his lawyer called Mark Madoff an innocent victim of his father's monstrous crime.
ABC's Aaron Katersky in New York. They remembered Elizabeth Edwards, who died this past week at a public funeral in Raleigh, North Carolina, for the estranged wife of politician John Edwards. Eldest daughter Kate Edwards among those remembering.
She was smart as a whip, but tried to never hold that over anyone. Well, unless she was right and they were wrong.
Hundreds of family, friends, and acquaintances turned out. In Stockholm, 2 explosions, one of them a car bomb on a street filled with Christmas shoppers. Authorities say 1 man was killed and 2 others injured. A Swedish news agency says it received an email threat to Sweden before the blasts, a threat that said to be related to Sweden's military presence in Afghanistan. You're listening to ABC News.
Now, a WDBO news update from Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Starting tomorrow night, much of the state could feel freezing temperatures, and Governor Charlie Crist is declaring a state of emergency. The governor said he is taking precautions to protect crops. The National Weather Service says it will likely issue freeze watches and warnings for much of central Florida. Authorities may soon release 911 calls from the shooting of an Orange County deputy. Investigators say Brandon Lyles shot and killed an Orange County deputy before turning the gun on himself. Lyles had been involved in a burglary earlier that day before he was stopped by Deputy Brandon Coates. Lyles shot Coates in the head twice, and deputies are certain he intentionally shot himself. Space Shuttle crews at Kennedy Space Center will work through the weekend to prepare the Discovery for a tanking test. The technicians will place 89 sensors on Discovery's external tank. The sensors measure movement, temperature, and strain on the tank. Engineers are trying to figure out why cracks formed in the tank. Those cracks forced NASA to delay Discovery's launch until at least February 3rd. Engineers won't do the tanking test until Wednesday at the earliest. A popular holiday parade has been canceled this year because of hard economic times. In the past, the Orlando Christmas Parade made its way through the streets of downtown Orlando. This year, though, the parade will be replaced with a Santa Farewell Festival. That is next Saturday at the Soto Shopping Center near downtown. You still have time to help this year's Toys for Tots campaign. The Marine Corps is still in need of thousands of toys to help the 27,000 children signed up for the program this year. Head out to Celebration for the final Toys for Tots Santa Saturday at the Celebration Town Center, happening right now and going on until 9 p.m. Officials say any donations need to be turned in by Wednesday, December 15th. Distribution is the 16th of the month. For more on these stories and the important local news of the day, watch Channel 9 Eyewitness News tonight at 6. WDBO News Time 5:04. Traffic and weather are next.
Living in Central Florida, you're no stranger to severe weather. Remember, AM 580 WDBO is no stranger in covering weather when it turns nasty. Your emergency weather station is WDBO.
Hey, would you drink your pool water? Sure, it's a crazy question, but the answer could be yes if you have the patented, amazing ionization system from Clearwater Technologies in your home or community pool. It's true. Pools that use the Clearwater ionization system sparkle with a water quality that exceeds the EPA standards for drinking water. Oh, and the benefits don't stop there. There's no need for chlorine in your pool ever again. That's right. No more allergic reactions, no harmful chemicals that can be absorbed into your skin. Oh, and here's the best part, more money in your pocket. Log on to poolschlorinefree.com and find out how your pool can become a mineral bath with copper and silver ions naturally. That website again is poolschlorinefree.com. That's poolschlorinefree.com. And kiss chlorine goodbye forever.
Good afternoon. It's 5:05 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO, and it's time to check in with the 24-hour WDBO Safe Touch Security Traffic Network. Here's Paul Barnett.
I-4 westbound at Orange Blossom Trail, there is an accident blocking the right lane. Expect heavy congestion that starts at Princeton. State Road 408 eastbound at the Dean Road Toll Plaza, the two left lanes remain blocked for construction. We have a report of an accident on Colonial at Forsyth and another on Cimarron Boulevard at Hibiscus. This report's brought to you by Hallmark at Walgreens. Buy 3 Hallmark cards, get $2 in Walgreens Jingle Cash to use on your next Walgreens purchase. There's a way to stay jolly. 1 coupon printed for offer. See coupon for restrictions. On a station with traffic every 6 minutes in the morning, I'm Paul Barnett.
It'll be mostly clear early this evening. Clouds will gather, though, toward daybreak. A milder night. Low temperatures down to 50 degrees. And for tomorrow, we have a strong cold front on the way by midday. Some morning sun, afternoon showers. Temperatures around 71. From Severe Weather Center 9 and WDBO, I'm meteorologist Brian Monahan.
And the latest scan of the WDBO weather radar shows no rain across Central Florida. It is 66 in downtown Orlando and 65 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
The following hour was paid for by the host and does not reflect the opinion of AM 580 WDBO. The Pool Fanatics are on News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Brought to you each week by your host, Tony Caruso, and his company, TC Water Features. If you have questions about pool maintenance or have been thinking about adding a pool, spa area, or waterfall, you need to call now at 407-290-0058 or 800-329-5858. Now, the Pool Fanatics.
We are Pool Fanatics. We want to swim every day of the year, and we really can. That's right. No matter what the temperature outside, the temperature in the pool can always be very, very nice and comfortable. And we're taking your calls right now at 800-329-5858 or 407-290-0058. Don't forget, you can also maybe put a little bit of something under the tree or in a stocking that says, you, husband, are getting a brand new fountain for Christmas that Tony Caruso is going to put in. That's right, Tony Caruso, Orlando Luxury Pools by TC Water Features. We got a special guest with us today. This guy's like right out of Star Trek, man. He is Greg Vogel with Atlantic Service and Supply, and they are solar power people. That's right. Can you imagine when that blue bill comes in your mailbox, actually opening up the power bill and smiling and not cussing for 10 minutes about how your electric bill keeps going up? Well, there you go. That's what Greg Vogel's doing here. Tony, bring us up to date. What's going on?
Wonderful week. Wonderful week.
Another good week?
Another great week. It's pretty whirlwind. We had, we'll talk about this for a second. Dr. Anna Marie last week from the Weather Channel. I went up there and met with her. But the day before I went up there with all of my people, all my proud sponsors went up there, I got a phone call from a guy named Eco Construction up in Mount Dora. Guess what they're building? Another greenhouse. Not a greenhouse, but a a greenovation style house where they're going to be very, very energy efficient, very, very eco, or let's call it green technology type application.
She wanted you to design a pool for her that's going to be run mainly solar.
As easy, as inefficient as possibly can be considered. And I promise you I can get a power bill down below $15 a month. I know that for sure. And Greg, I'm pretty sure when we get to Greg right here, we're going to talk about how we can actually get that to zero unless she decides to use that spa that we're going to put in. That might crank in a power bill of about $2 or $3 a month.
And she is also, because I'm hoping she becomes so semi-regular on the show, and I hope you're listening, Doctor, that she is talking about heating and cooling her home from 20-some feet below the earth because the temperature is always 72?
Well, she's geothermo, and she's only about between 5 and 6 feet below. But that geothermo grid is out in the pasture, so it doesn't bother anything. It's out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and her house could maintain a constant of about 72 degrees. So it's amazing. So I took all my people up there. The ooh and the ah's cool. You know, the really cool thing about it is the immediate exposure. She's got 26 weeks of healthy living coming up next year, and the pool could be one of those items that are, you know, could be an hour, 2 or 3 show through segments of time to teach people how to reduce the operating cost of a pool. Now, realizing swimming pools are not, you know, green friendly, but they can sure be really close, meaning that we have products today that are either going to be recycled, reused, like our aluminum for screening, for instance, is going to be recycled. It's not virgin aluminum. It's going to be recycled.
Mm-hmm.
So just starting with things like that. The only thing we can't get there is on plastic. You know, unfortunately, that's petroleum-based, and we're not doing copper or ductile iron for plumbing on the pool, unfortunately. So, but that's one area we can't do a whole lot with. So, good week. Really good week. Looking forward to it.
Super week. Dr. Hannah, great new friend of the show, great new friend of the Pool Fanatics. We get her an official pin, Pool Fanatic.
There you go.
She can wear.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
All the
Good
people
job.
that are up there really are fanatics. They've been on my show already, so that's really cool.
All right, very good. Tell us about Greg. Tell us about how you two came together. And then, Greg, take off and tell us about, I mean, one of the things, when I talk to solar people, I always explain that you guys are the cutting edge. You are the future. You are the ones that are going to save us from the mess that we've made of our planet, and you're going to save us dollar-wise. The only problem is, with the exception of Tony getting you guys on the air, the solar people have not done a very good job getting their word out to what you can actually accomplish. Because you can actually save people a lot of money, but the industry's not out there shouting and screaming like the other companies that might supply power are screaming about how good they are. You guys are great.
No,
we need to hear more.
First of all, thank you for having me here. And I agree with you. A lot of the problem right now is just there's not enough incentives out there, and solar really needs a little help with some incentives. There's still a federal incentive out there, but the states, the states' incentives are all dried up, and that right there really drove the economy a couple of years ago. But unfortunately, right now they're all empty. So,
but is there a misunderstanding? Those incentives might be there if the taxpayer understood just how efficient you guys are getting this to be. It's a very efficient way to create power.
Oh,
but a lot of people
absolutely.
don't understand that.
No, it is absolutely. And most solar panels are rated with a 25-year warranty. I mean, really, once you get them up and they're running constantly for 25 years, always taking that amount of money off your power bill every month.
That's incredible.
Rob, here's how I met. This is really cool. I'm a member of the subcommittee to electrical tax.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a member of the subcommittee for electrical tax for the state of Florida. So 6 months ago, 9 months ago,
about 6.
we were in Gainesville at the energy tax, at the energy council. Listen to all these people bigger about how we're going to either save you money or charge you more money to get energy. So our lobbyist come up to me and said, Tony, you really got to go out and see this guy's pump, because we've got things that we need to put into bill. We need to get introduced into bill so they become law in the 2011 cycle. So what we did is we went outside, and here Greg's got this truck and van and all this cool stuff with a pump and solar panels on the roof. And it was cloudy. It was about 9:15 in the morning, and here this pump's pulling energy off the ultraviolets out of the atmosphere, enough to run about 29 point. I'm thinking we're running between 29 and 31 gallons a minute at 9:15 in the morning, and no power. We're out in the parking lot. So,
wow.
And this is no sun. This is just running off the UVs from outside. So I went out and met with Greg. We talked about it, and I said, man, I got really interested. This is great. So we went back inside. So part of the question is one, what kind of legislation can we get introduced that would make a solar-powered pool pump unique in the energy portion of a swimming pool? Well, guess what? There's no power bill. That's pretty cool, right?
I like that.
I like that. So, part of the comment is if you're using a solar-powered pool pump, is there going to be a default cycle and this, that? And we're going, wait a second, it's solar. There is no electricity. It has nothing to do with the grid. So that's how I said, you know what, this is great. We can talk about how I can lower your power bill if you don't want to go to solar. But can you imagine no power bill from solar? The return on investment's a little bit longer than you might want it to be, but not outrageous. But it's worth it. If you're off the grid, done. $90 a month, gone. Easy. So this is where Greg comes in. They're now proud partners of my company, and we're looking for great things next year. We really are. As things slow down, things are picking back up. So I realize and I agree the green technology or the energy efficient side of this, we're not pushing it far enough. We're so far behind. We're probably 12th in the world in trying to do renewable energies. So Greg's done a great job for us. So, and I really appreciate him coming up here today. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about let him talk about what his pump can do. That would be really key, so people understand what a solar power pool pump can do. You want to give us an idea?
Certainly. Atlantic, we've been looking for really new and innovative products, and we actually found this solar pool pump. It's made by Lorentz, who's a really world-renowned known pump manufacturer, and they have everything from deep well pumps to surface pumps. And this pump was actually used in robotics and bottling factories, and they've actually adapted it for the pool pump use. And what it does is it's straight DC conversion from the panels to the pump. So if the sun's up at all, even through a cloudy day, the pump is running. Now, if there's some interference, you may not get full irradiation, but the pump will, with the sun's up, the pump is running. And that's the whole point, and an average pool person will spend probably about $850 a month on their cost to run their pump. And what this does is that it eliminates it completely. And we're just really, really happy with this thing. It's going to be a big product for us, and we're really looking forward to this upcoming year because it's going to be the first full year with the product.
Remember the comment? Remember the comment? If you had a 30,000-gallon pool, you only need 41.66 gallons to operate that pool. Remember that comment? We talk about this. His pump under good energy. Let's call it. Let's talk about summertime first. Let's say from 10 a.m. to 5 or 6 p.m. We're doing 60 gallons a minute.
Easily
60 gallons a minute. That's pretty good. And,
amazing.
And in the morning, going to start up. We're going to be a little bit lower, but we're going to exceed. It doesn't matter now how long it runs. This time, there's no power bill. It's paid for. It's drawing energy from the sun into the PV panels, which in turn converts it over to DC power.
No, it's no conversion. It's actually straight DC generation to
straight
DC load.
There you go.
See,
imagine that.
But there again, I go back to my original statement. 99.9% of the people in this country have no idea that that's even available until today. We just told them. I mean, that is amazing technology. And it is available, right? I mean, that's not pie in the sky. That's something they can order.
We actually have 1,000 pumps in the state of Florida right now.
Okay.
It's actually been on sale for 5 years.
See?
Yeah, but again, that's the problem we're having is actually getting the word out. So that's one of the things I do appreciate this opportunity to let people know.
Yeah.
We look forward to it. We really do. I mean, marketing is key. I mean, I'm putting the word out. We Facebook, tweeted last week that he's going to be on the show. So we could talk about how we can reduce that. Thinking about that, I mean, we realize in business you have to spend money to make money. If you don't spend any money, you can't make. It doesn't fall in your lap. So you've got to take your and go out and stretch out a little bit to get new technologies to see what work for you. Now, his pump's not. You've got people in my industry today that have no interest in it. They're not, Rob, they're just not going to change, but that's okay though. But that allows people like me, I'm open to this, If I was 30, which I'm not, I mean, I'd be more susceptible to today's, quicker technologies. I'm catching on a little bit later in life, but at least I'm catching on when it's here. We just need to catch up. We are so far behind in this country, it's amazing. But this is a great way to reduce that footprint.
Well, in operating a pool, the major cost is the pump, right?
The major
in operating.
Yeah, because the power company's charging money to operate that pool pump. Now we can still, if you're not going to go solar, at least consider 2-speed technology or a very, very reduced size pool pump. The standards only call for 36 gallons a minute on any pool operation. That's what you have to have minimum by our ANSI standards to operate a swimming pool is 36 gallons a minute.
Mm-hmm.
His pump does that simply.
Now,
very simply.
You were talking about lack of incentives. Is there any rebates right now? Are there any government programs? Is there any Energy Star or anything? We'll find about that when we come back. All right, we've got a very special guest here, and you may have questions for this company that is really taking us into the future, and that is our good friends at Atlantic Service and Supply. They are officially Pool Fanatics, I'm telling you right now. 800-329-5858 or 407-290-0058. You're on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
Join with AM 580 WDBO this holiday season and share hope by making a donation to the Ronald McDonald House during the Share a Night, Light a Light campaign.
Our son was born 13 weeks premature. Without the Ronald McDonald House, I was foreseeing staying in the hospital pretty much 24/7, sleeping on the couches. I just couldn't bear to be away from him again another night.
Donate at shareanight.org. That's shareanight.org. Share comfort, share hope, share a night for a deserving family at the Ronald McDonald House.
As a business owner, you know payroll is the largest item on your P&L, but you still need more staff. Now, thanks to Workforce Central Florida, the region's workforce expert, you can supercharge your business. Adding staff without increasing payroll. Workforce Central Florida's program was developed to aid local companies during tough times when you need it most. This program will actually pay for the salary of new team members, 30 to 40 hours per week for up to 3 months for those who apply and qualify. All you need is a job description. Then Workforce Central Florida will connect you with a temporary employee with the skills ready to contribute to your bottom line and make payroll. It's a win-win-win. Benefiting companies, job seekers, and the local economy. Find out how you can supercharge your staff at no cost by visiting WorkforceCentralFlorida.com. WorkforceCentralFlorida.com.
Hey everybody, the Garden Rebel here, Robert Vincent Sims, to tell you about my company, Sims Landscape. Let me give you a little Garden Rebel philosophy. We believe this: 95% of the plants in your yard should be totally cold tolerant. We believe the majority of the shrubs should be drought tolerant as well. Xeriscaping with the Florida Friendly Plant List. Just give us a call at 352-383-3303 or write to me at gardenrebel@aol.com. We believe in accent color. It should be added for drama. And we also believe that after the puzzle is put together, it should be low maintenance. This is done by doing a grouping, a combination of slower growing varieties. So you're not in the yard every single weekend. Just write to me, gardenrebel@aol.com. Gardenrebel.com is the website.
How does it feel to sit on pins and needles? Well, when you want to trade in or sell your car, you probably feel like you're sitting on, well, you know. How much is my car worth? Will I get a fair offer? Will they notice that jelly stain in the back seat? Well, those days are over. Autotrader.com introduces the trade-in marketplace. Just go to tradein.autotrader.com and enter basic information about your vehicle, year, model, condition, and other items. Within seconds, you'll get an offer that you can print right from your computer. A real offer, a fair offer. And when you go to an autotrader.com participating dealer and your vehicle is verified to match that information, you can use that offer to trade in your car or walk away with a check. So just like autotrader.com has always been the place to find a car, now it's the place to get an offer on a car you want to trade in or sell. Just go to tradein.autotrader.com today. Autotrader.com, the ultimate automotive marketplace. See offer for separate trade-in and sale locations. Other conditions apply. Visit tradein.autotrader.com for complete program details.
Time is running out, and when you hear this, it's too late to get that $1,500 energy tax credit on a new Lennox high-efficiency air conditioning system. I'm John Green with Green's Energy Services. The good news is that it's not too late yet. Your new system needs to be installed by December 31st, and if you call Green's this week, our Christmas elves can still get your new system installed by the deadline. Just don't call them elves when they get there. And to sweeten the deal, Green's Energy Services has easy financing options, including 18 months, no interest for qualified buyers. I know it's a busy time of year, but are you too busy to save money, be comfortable, save energy, and lots of money on a new Lennox high-efficiency home comfort system? Call 407-282-5000 today or visit greensenergy.com.
Green's Energy Services will come to your rescue.
CAC 1813726. Things change minute to minute. Don't miss a beat. Listen at work on WDBO.com.
It's the Pool Fanatics. Are we crazy talking about pools when it's cold outside? No, because you know what? If you've got the proper pump, you got the proper heat, you got the proper everything. You could have been swimming today, campers. 800-329-5858 or 407-290-0058. Special topic today, but you can call about anything pools or fountains if you want. But Greg Vogel is with us from Atlantic Service and Supply, and we're talking about solar-powered pumps. And it's not just for swimming pools anymore. Sound like a commercial. Anyway, it's not your grandpa's pool pump. So what other applications would this be used for, this technology?
We actually have this, and actually there's one in Orlando. A gentleman, a customer of ours, is using it for his pond, for pond management, but you also can use this for irrigation, for besides swimming pools, aquariums. Let's say you have fountains you wanted to use. The city of, I actually think it's either St. Peter Clearwater is looking at solar to power their fountains right now as well. So there's a wide variety of uses you can use this pump for.
And one of the things I was reading on your brochure is this is direct, so there's no holding batteries.
No.
There's none of that. This is just direct feed from the panel to the pump.
Exactly.
Right?
If the sun is up, the pump is pumping.
God, that's amazing. So Tony, you're the dean of pools in Florida. This passes your muster.
Oh, easy. Remember, amazing things can happen in your backyard,
Oh, very
especially
amazing.
with a solar-powered pool pump. No power, off the grid. Now, think about this. If we have this available in a pump that's going to leave, let's pick 60 gallons a minute for now, just for today. But and that's in today's technology. Can you imagine when you need more water? So this is going to take off. These pumps are going to get a bit bigger. They're going to do more volume. It's going to cost a bit more, obviously, to put them in. But think about this. We start getting some of these huge fountains out here that run during the day to keep lakes circulating and fountains looking good. No power, off the grid.
We actually have, this pump will do about 24,000 gallons a day max. We actually have a pump coming out at the end of this month that'll do 90,000 gallons a day. It's purely off solar.
So when we're talking pond management, to keep a pond clean,
right,
or keep the water moving so it doesn't get a lot of junk
just
in
circulating,
it.
not really filtering.
I mean, aquariums, fountains, everything. This has a super application.
If you need to move water, we can do it for you.
It's just amazing stuff. Are you guys in an Orlando company, or you're everywhere?
We're actually all over the state, and we're actually part of a much bigger company called Watsco. It's a Fortune 1000 company, and we're just a division of that company. But we have 3 offices in the state. We actually deliver all throughout the entire state.
Mm-hmm. Now, is this something that, let's say that Nick's got a swimming pool, and if he gets 17 more jobs, and he's got a swimming pool, and and Tony's going to build it. Does the pool come through Tony's company? Does he order it from you and install it, this pump?
Exactly. We are the master distributor of this product for the state of Florida, and we look for dealers. We actually have 2 dealers in Orlando right now, but we would work through the dealer to get the pump through them. And if the dealer, we sign up a dealer, we actually go out and we train the dealer on their first several installs to make sure everything's done correctly and the pumps are working properly.
Now, let me ask you about this. I don't know a whole lot about some of the homeowners associations around Central Florida. I don't know a whole bunch about building codes. That's where Tony comes in. Is there cooperation around the state that, we've got this technology where we can take my pool off the grid, but if I ask you to come out and put panels on my roof and stuff like that, is some clown going to come along and say, that ain't in our code, man?
I would probably have to defer to Tony to that as well.
Well, let's clarify this real quick. Let's do this real quick, by the way. There is a federal law on the books today. Now, we know we're not going to mess with the federal government.
Better not.
The government says that you're allowed to capture free energy, which means you can have a clothesline in your backyard because guess what? It's free energy. So now I promise you this. You're not going to find too many people that are going to put solar power panels on the front of their home. I promise you that.
Yeah.
But legally they can. And the reason is because it's free energy. You're allowed to capture free energy. And I have the actual federal law. And when people sit here and say the association says this, I said, you know what? Let them say it. Here's the law. Take it to the government. Take it to, the federal government and deal with them. You're not dealing with me. Right now I have the law on my side that says I can capture free energy. So we realize we're not going to take, we're trying, and we can build a rack system, for instance. If we can't get it on the roof and they don't want to put it there, I'm pretty sure we can build a rack system to put the panel up so it's not on the roof, but it's still catching the energy it needs to.
But for a good portion of the homes in Florida, a lot of them have the back of the house facing south.
Exactly.
Or some part of the roof is facing south.
Well, you really have three directions. You have,
come on.
You have east, south, and west. I mean, really. Obviously, if we had a due south roof, that's our maximum energy. So, in June 21st, longest day of the year, sun straight up. We really want to also look at that winter sun, which is that southeast, south, and southwest mode,
Yes.
where we're at today. You know, if we really go out there and look at where the sun was in the middle of summer to where it is today in your backyard, like my backyard faces due north. It's really amazing. Somehow I got my house right. The peak of my roof is due north. So when the sun hits on December 21st, it's right peak down my walkway into my backyard. Don't ask me how I did that, but it worked out.
Websites and phone numbers real quick.
407-282-4911. Or email us at orlandoluxurypools.com or look at our website. We have some really cool stuff on there. So what do you got, Greg?
AtlanticSolarFlorida.com, and the number is 800-859-3708.
Lawrence, boy, their name has been associated with the best in pumps forever.
They're huge worldwide. It's a German-based company.
Yeah, I mean, goodness gracious. All right, we're pool fanatics. Maybe you got questions about solar. How efficient is it? Well, we're telling you right now how efficient it is, and we can do that to your pool right now, or your aquarium, whatever. 800-329-5858, 407-290-0058. Tony Caruso, the Pool Fanatic, only on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
The station Central Florida turns to first for live team coverage of breaking news. News Talk AM 580 WDBO, Orlando, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
The blizzard pounding the upper Midwest right now could dump 8 to 18 inches of snow, forecasters say. Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport shut down. Travelers are stuck. Most restaurants are closed, and those that are open, like A&W American Food, are apparently serving a rather tough, weather-irritated crowd.
Oh, they are in a bad mood.
New York City police confirmed that Bernie Madoff's eldest son, Mark Madoff, hanged himself by a dog leash in his apartment overnight. Police Commissioner Ray Kelly says Madoff had written emails earlier in the day to his wife and others.
Email messages that were sent apparently during the morning hours to various people.
Suicide comes exactly 2 years after his father's arrest in the multi-billion-dollar Ponzi scheme. In critical condition right now in a Washington, D.C. hospital, the U.S. Special Diplomat to Pakistan and Afghanistan, Richard Holbrooke, a torn aorta. Holbrooke, 69. In Afghanistan, NATO officials say an Allied airstrike killed more than 25 suspected enemy fighters. Chuck Severson, ABC News.
In this city, conservatism is heard.
Conservatism is the answer to their political problems.
News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Depend on it.
Straightforward pricing. 2-year guarantee on all repairs. Does your plumbing service offer that? Hi, this is Bill Heichel, owner of Benjamin Franklin Plumbing here in Orlando. These two service promises are the cornerstones of our business. Our plumbing professionals will do the job right the first time, and we will be on time guaranteed. If we aren't on time, we'll pay you. I encourage you to give us a call for your next plumbing project. From a tiny leak to a whole house repipe and everything in between, our virtual warehouse on wheels truck will have the parts and supplies you need. Heck, the only thing we don't carry is the kitchen sink. Call us at 407-905-0014, toll free at 866-867-5309, or online at benfranklinplumbingfl.com.
CFC 056690.
Good evening, it's 5:32 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO, and it's time to check in with the 24-hour WDBO Safe Touch Security Traffic Network. Here's Paul Barnett.
I-4 westbound at Orange Blossom Trail, there is an accident blocking the right lane still. Expect heavy congestion starting at Princeton. State Road 408 eastbound at the Dean Road Toll Plaza, the 2 left lanes remain blocked for construction. And we have a report of an accident on Colonial Drive at Rouse. This report's brought to you by Hallmark at Walgreens. Buy 3 Hallmark cards and get $2 in Walgreens Jingle Cash to use on your next Walgreens purchase. Walgreens, there's a way to stay jolly. 1 coupon printed per offer. See coupon for restrictions. On the station with traffic every 6 minutes in the morning, I'm Paul Barnett.
It'll be mostly clear early this evening. Clouds will gather, though, toward daybreak. A milder night. Low temperatures down to 50 degrees. And for tomorrow, we have a strong cold front on the way by midday. Some morning sun, afternoon showers. Temperatures around 71. From Severe Weather Center 9 and WDBO, I'm meteorologist Brian Monahan.
And the latest scan of the WDBO weather radar shows no rain across Central Florida. It is 64 at the UCF campus and 65 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
When it matters most, remember News Talk AM 580 WDBO, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
Hey, welcome back. It is the Pool Fanatics right here on News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Our usual guy, the usual suspects are here. Tony Caruso, he is the Pool Fanatic, by the way, in Central Florida. Orlando Luxury Pools by TC Water features some of the most beautiful things you've seen in Central Florida if they have to do with water. Tony was around helping to do that or design it or install it. Also today, Greg Vocal, Atlantic Service and Supply, with a totally solar pump. The sun's shining, it's working. It's moving water. That is tremendous. Now, before Larry wrapped up on the Magic Mechanics show, Larry's like so many Floridians. He's got a pool, and he had a question because he was wondering just how many hours a day that his wife has been running that pump, and I don't know what answer he was looking for, but I knew the wives are always right.
They're always right. Remember that. There's about 18 million people in Florida. There's 1.2 million swimming pools. What's that, about 1 in 17, 1 in 6, something like that? Okay, so Larry's question is very legitimate. Very much so is. And we've been preaching for, we've been on this radio show for, what, 5 months, Rob?
Couple, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing good, you know. I mean, we talk about energy. How do we get the energy bill down? Now, this is what I see a lot of come along January, February, March, April. January, February, March, April. Is people call me up and say, hey, I got this black stuff in my pool, little spots, and it won't go away. That's black algae. Lack of circulation, lack of filtration, lack of sanitation. Those are all end results of getting black algae in your pool. We talked about this before. You do not want black algae in your pool. Now, the minimum, think about this. If your pool pump ran 8 hours a day, it's off for 16.
Yeah.
Hello? Do you want it to be off for 16? So we want it to run it. I'd rather you run your pool 2 segments of 4 hours at a pop minimum to give you circulation throughout the day. Now, if you go to a energy efficient motor, we only needed 41.66 gallons to operate that 30,000 gallon swimming pool. So if you have a 10,000 gallon pool, you don't need to operate on a horse and a half. I see 2 horses out there and 2.5 horsepower. We did about 10 audits this week. If we did a combined savings of all the pool pumps that we talked about this week, we saved a little over $700 a month for all of them combined.
Sure.
Or somewhere in the neighborhood of about $8,400 a year. The power company doesn't get, because we got them on technology that is going to cut their power bill down by 60 to 70% by going to 2-speed or putting in that lower speed motor. That's what's really key. You know, Hayward, one of my proud partners, they have a pump on the market today and a 1 horse. If you needed that power to get the solar to go on, not solar power pool pump, but solar power hot water heat, is pulling 9 amps in high speed, but it's only pulling 4 amps in low speed. Do the math there. That's 50. Wow. That's 55% right there. And then talk about run times. You know, your run times, slower and longer is better. So, Larry, don't run your pool. Have me out there. Let me get that right pool pump on your pool, or at least audit your pool and tell you where we can save you some energy. I promise you I can save you at least 60% on your pool operating bill. And if we talk to Greg, we can save you 100% on your power bill. But I realize you got a few things in your pool that may require a little bit more water. And I'm going to let Greg talk about something that they can add on to this pump that kind of gives it some longevity.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, certainly. We have a thing also called a power pack, which you can use in conjunction with this pump. And what that does is the device will actually tie into the grid, and then you tie your solar array into your controller with this. So basically, you have 100% power available 24/7. And if the sun's up, it takes all the sun's power first, and then augments it with power from the grid. So the only time you're ever running 100% grid power is if, let's say you wanted to run a feature or something at night and you needed power that you couldn't get from the sun because the sun's not available. The power will be there with this power pack. So there is actually a grid-tied solution. So this pump will run at full speed all the time. If the sun's up, though, it takes that power first and only takes a sip of power from the grid.
That is amazing technology. And it does it by itself, right? It makes a switch?
Exactly. No, the controller actually has a brain on it, and it tells the pump to run at what speed, depending on how much power is available. It's very, very clever.
Okay, I think we're probably going to – we'll talk about more on this later, but we got two other topics we really need to talk about. And one of those is the question this week that I got asked most when they knew I was going to see Tony this weekend was, hey, Sunday night, worst temperatures of the year. 20s in Orlando – get up toward Ocala, we're talking the teens. What's that going to do? What do we need to do if we have a pool or even a fountain, for crying out loud?
We talked about this last week, and I read in the Sentinel today. You know, what little reading I do, and there's an issue. There's a story in there that there's a very big potential of possible brownouts in the paper this weekend or today actually about not having enough energy to warm the schools. Big. You're not going to go into a cold classroom. If there's not enough power and they're in brownouts, then kids are going to go home. So think about this. If your pool pump's running during the freeze, you're doing no good. Nothing's going to grow in your pool. So on my Facebook, we tweeted this weekend as well. Again, what we talked about last week, turn the breaker off, take the front of the pump lid off, turn it upside down, and let it be off for a day or two. Everything thaws out, you're good to go. There's no sense in running that power. If you run 5 or 6 pool pumps, that's somebody's heater in their house that can't run. Remember, there's 1.2 million pools. That's huge. If we all shut them down, we would not be into brownout or blackout. Not a possibility. And nothing, trust me, friends, nothing is going to grow in your pool. It's not possible. Not in that short period of time. In the middle of summer, different story. In the cooler weather, my pool's 62 degrees right now. Not a lot going to go on. The people on chlorine generators at 58 degrees are going to shut off anyway. So help yourself out. Was it tomorrow night, Monday night,
Tuesday
Sunday
night, Monday night?
Yeah.
So what about the fountain in somebody's front yard? I know most of the fountains you do are giant, but what about some of these fountains? Maybe you've done one that only holds 3 or 4 gallons of water. Could that freeze?
Sure could. Sure it could. And you're going to have those little, we call them pond suckers in there, little aquarium-style pumps. They're going to freeze up and they're going to burn up. And sometimes you're not easy to get to. So, just shut it down. Nothing's going to happen to it. Promise you that. 3 or 4 days, 4 days probably pushing it. And even though they talked about having a milder winter from last year, we're right. We're milder, but it's just as cold, folks. We're talking 29 degrees, wind chills in the teens here on Tuesday morning. Yeah.
So what you're saying is tomorrow's Sunday. Sometime tomorrow, turn the breaker off and just let it sit until Wednesday.
Yeah, go out there, cover your plants up as you need. That's what Sim said today. Cover your plants up as you need to. Understood that. Yeah, I'm plugging my fellow experts.
Never put
here.
Plastic on
there
them.
You go. And not in the middle of the day, and make sure it's not black. While you're out there doing that, go ahead and just go ahead and kill the breaker. Pull the front of the pump motor off, and you're done. You can drain your filter tank if you want. Pull the plug out of it, drain it. You're fine. Couple days later, fire it back up. That's what I would do. I'm not paying the power company that power bill, and I know I'm not pounding the power company. Drew, do believe me. But look, everything's going up. Gas is going up. I heard Larry talking about gas today.
Lord.
It's and you know what, by the way, I think driving usage is down 9% this year, but gas is still going up. I can't quite figure that out. I thought it was supply and demand, but not there. So also catch us on Facebook and Twitter. We have some specials going on for those of you who follow us. Follow those too. So this is going to be great teaming up with Greg. I think we got a lot of really cool things coming up for 2011. And then 2012, we're out of here. I think it's just going to go skyrocket. I really feel confident about that.
Oh, I think so too. Now, let me ask you this. Okay, everybody, you got your instructions there. You're gonna put off the breaker. A couple of days later, when it's getting back in the 40s and 50s at night, turn the thing back on, right?
Turn it back on. Or call me at 407-282-4911. I'll walk you through. It's real easy.
Or one of the other things, put on your agenda for this year to get with Tony on one of these smaller pumps and save your power, will you? All right, very good. Now, the Anna Marie Project is what we're officially calling this.
That's good.
Up in Lake County. So let's bring us up to date on where we are, where we go. Where are we going? Excuse me.
Well, if she's out there listening in Radio Land today, Greg's going to jump on board, and we're going to hook her up with a solar power pool pump.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that she's going to have no power bill from the actual pool pump. None. Zilcho. So we're going to run LED lights, and those are going to run her. If she ran them every day for 2-3 hours, probably about 8 cents a month. So and I think my control panel is going to pull about a penny a day to run the chlorine generator, so about 30 cents. So her actual power bill could be $2. Think about that.
This LED's made such a difference, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I see people lighting their house this year that are going, it's amazing. I go by by the old power meter out there, and it's not spinning out of control like a CD. You know, it's just going around real slow.
Hey, can you imagine going backwards? That's really cool. And where Greg's going to come in here is if this thing runs on, and we did the math. We were in the parking lot. We did the math. This thing will work on this. And it's going to do a wonderful job. Now I got my buddy Paul Korn from Impact Lighting. We're going to do the 42-watt LED laminars. For those who have laminars, you're either 4 or 6 watts. We're going to do 42. So we're actually going to have that glass rod of water carrying that color all the way to the water and giving me a 12 to 18-inch illumination at the water as this clear rod of water hits. So we had some really cool stuff coming up. Yeah, a lot of green recycled stuff. So let Greg talk about what his pump's going to do for this project. There you go.
No, I really need to hear a little bit more about the project. One thing is though that there's not going to be zero monthly cost to circulate the water, and that's just a big thing that people have a hard time wrapping around. The thing is that the cost of the pump is buried in your power bill. You know, you can't look at your bill and say, okay, this much was the refrigerator, this much was the pool pump, this much was the air conditioner. You know, because it's all buried in there. But when you realize that the pool pump can be as much as a quarter or a third of your power bill, it drives people crazy. I can't believe that. But this right here is going to totally eliminate that cost and the need for her. And it's something we're excited about.
It's the number 2 usage of power in your home if you have a house. If you have a pool, it's the number 2 power usage. Air conditioner's 1. Now the heater's going to outperform that air conditioner right here in this cold couple of days. Yeah. I mean, people are going to scream about the power bill because you got to heat your house.
Well, yeah.
I say put an extra blanket on and you're good to go too. Sorry.
A 3-dog night, as they used to say. And, but basically we all have to, so we don't repeat the brownouts of years ago. We all got to work together. And Tony, you got a good solution. If we just turn off the pools, that's going to help an awful lot.
Yeah. I don't want to go through. I mean, when the hurricanes came through, I said, I'll never be without power again. So I have a backup generator. I can get about 9 days out of my generator if I had to. But I don't want to go on brownouts. My pool is still going to get shut off. If I go off the grid or off power, lose power, my pool pump's still going to get shut off. I'm not running it. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to run it.
Okay, so basically we started the show and we were talking to Greg Vogel. We were talking about the fact that Atlantic has this pump now. It is solar powered. It costs you nothing to run it. And there's no down into a battery. It's just always going as long as the sun is shining. Or even on a cloudy day, it's getting UV rays. One of the things, so let's say that 90% of the people certainly didn't know that was going on. So let me ask you this, Greg. Where do you see us in 5 years? Where do you see Atlantic, and what kind of projects are you looking for down the line that America just needs to get ready for?
I think probably the biggest thing is taking a pump like this and doing more commercial applications. They're only going to get more and more efficient. They're only going to get bigger and better. They'll be able to do more gallons off less watts. Solar panels are going to get better and better.
Are we going to be talking about big gas stations like your big raceways, the gas pumps operating only on solar power?
No, I wouldn't. Probably not gasoline, but I was thinking more like commercial pools, commercial pumping applications, Wet and Wild, places like that. Places that have a large amount of water. Like we actually have, I'm preparing a quote for someone down in the Everglades who has to water a huge, huge farm down there. And they want to know, how can we move, like 100,000 gallons a day to get to all the plants? And that's one of the things we're kind of helping develop, just being able to move huge quantities of water. There's another one, people's interested in the pump that will do 9,000 gallons a day to move stormwater. There's these huge applications for moving large amounts of water. I mean, something like this could help with, like the levees in Louisiana.
Well, and moving stormwater is just so costly to cities, developers. If you can move that stormwater at solar cost, I mean, you would be saving hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
Exactly.
Boy, that's just amazing stuff right there.
Rob, there's 36,000 commercial swimming pools in the state of Florida. Most of them have a primary pump and a secondary pump.
Right.
The primary runs and secondary run when they're in peak usage. Then the primary runs when they're not in peak usage. So could you imagine taking 36,000 commercial pools off the grid during the day. And then we can go back to the power inverter to run it to where we can run it in the nighttime, getting them off. Huge.
Wow.
I'd have a happy Christmas. That's
I
for
bet
sure.
you would. But
Can you
think about
imagine?
this. What, Larry talked. We talk about people coming over here to our country and drilling our oil, right?
Yeah.
Let's just not buy oil to make energy.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, sure. Why not? So let's look at getting them off. I mean, this is just one step. We have to take baby steps to make gains, and this is a baby step. So, but once we get out there and demonstrate what it does, it's leaps and bounds then. So just getting a foot on the market. And I think by doing the project for Dr. Anna Marie, this is going to be huge. The marketability, there's TV time out of this. There's marketing for this. She'll do a show. She's got 26 weeks on our show come up on the Weather Channel. So we talked about this on Thursday. So I think this is really going to go a long ways. I really do.
All right, we've got the phone lines open. If you've got questions about the freezing temperatures, about a no-cost, energy cost anyway, pool pump, give us a call, 800-329-5858 or 407-290-0058. And remember, folks, you can still call Tony this week, and even though they can't build it by Christmas, you could put a very nice snapshot in a very cool box, or maybe a swim mask or some fins, and say, guess what, kids, Mommy and Daddy got a pool coming for you this spring. How cool would that be? Talk about a great thing to enhance your property values. There's where you can put some money. We'll be back. You're listening to News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
Weekday mornings 5 till 9. Get your daily dose of news, weather, traffic, and Jim Turner, Central Florida's morning news on News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Depend on it.
So, Ted, you were saying you think you have problems with self-image.
Well, I just wish I were as great as Right Brand Bacon.
Go on.
Well, for one thing, Right Brand Bacon always smells incredible.
That's true.
And everybody always gets excited when extra thick strips of Right Brand Bacon are at a breakfast meeting or a dinner party or on a sandwich.
You wish people wanted you on their sandwich?
Maybe a little.
Interesting.
And people daydream about Right Brand Bacon, the extra thick cut, the mouth-watering hearty taste that just sticks in your brain until you have to have it. How can I possibly compete with that?
Ted, look at me.
Yeah?
You're not bacon.
Not yet.
Oh, boy.
Craving heartier tasting, thicker cut bacon? Then you'll love Right Brand Bacon. Right Brand is everything you love about bacon, only bigger. Right Brand Bacon. Bigger, better bacon. Find out more at biggerbetterbacon.com.
Hey, would you drink your pool water? Sure, it's a crazy question, but the answer could be yes if you have the patented, amazing ionization system from Clearwater Technologies in your home or community pool. It's true. Pools that use the Clearwater ionization system sparkle with a water quality that exceeds the EPA standards for drinking water. And the benefits don't stop there. There's no need for chlorine in your pool ever again. That's right. No more allergic reactions, no harmful chemicals that can be absorbed into your skin. Oh, and here's the best part, more money in your pocket. Log on to poolschlorinefree.com and find out how your pool can become a mineral bath with copper and silver ions naturally. That website again is poolschlorinefree.com. That's poolschlorinefree.com. And kiss chlorine goodbye forever.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Many of you know how much I value my time with my family and my friends. Now, when I travel, I keep an eye out for extraordinary things to share with them. And I want you to know that a Thompson Air hot air balloon ride is one of those special things. Now, Captain Jeff Thompson is a proud sponsor of our Freedom Concert, and he operates a truly wonderful family business. Now, look, why don't you call him today and take the entire family with you and take a flight with these great Americans?
Hi, this is Captain Jeff Thompson. For over 30 years, I've been creating wonderful memories for people just like you. Even after your flight, you will have a difficult time putting into words the magic of a balloon flight. Trust me when I say the best ride in Central Florida isn't found in the parks. It's floating over them.
This year, put an adventure under someone's tree and give the gift of an unforgettable experience. A Thompson Air hot air balloon ride. Call 407-421-9322 or visit thompsonair.com. That's THOMPSONAIRE.com.
S&W Kitchens. Remember the name S&W Kitchens. Scott Inez back for S&W Kitchens. Folks, they're the best. I've seen it up close and personal. The Inez family very happy with the work S&W did on both our kitchen and our guest bathroom. It was just time to update those two rooms, and the specialists at S&W, from the initial consultation through the design phase to the selection of products and our expert installation, they were all terrific. I like the way they do business. If you've been thinking about remodeling, they make it easy. And for 32 years, S&W Kitchens has been your premier source for all your kitchen remodeling, bathroom remodeling, countertops, and cabinet refacing needs. Visit SandWKitchens.com. Spell it out, S, the word and, WKitchens.com, or call their number, 407-965-1120. That's 407-965-1120. S&W Kitchens.
For local news as it happens, stay tuned to AM 580 WDBO, your news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
It's the Pool Fanatics right here on News Talk AM 580 WDBO. I'm Rob Newton. Tony Caruso's here, and we got Greg Vogel from Atlantic Service and Supply. And right now, John in Windermere joins the show. John, what's your question?
Yeah, thank you for taking my call. I'm very interested in your solar pool pump, and I was wondering how the initial cost compares to the regular pump.
Well, question. I'll put Greg on here in a second. But give me an idea, John. How big's your pool pump currently today, or what kind of volume of water's in your pool? Actually, both questions. How much water's in your pool?
Actually, I'm getting ready to build a pool, and it'll be about 30,000 gallons.
About 30,000 gallons. It's not really going to be. I don't think we're not going to talk for you. I'm sorry.
That size of pool would probably be a little too big. We could use multiple pumps, but I probably wouldn't recommend it for a pool that big.
They're really designed, John, for pools in the 10 to 12, the 14,000.
We'll go up to 20.
20.
And it'll actually do 24,000 gallons a day, but we try not to go over a 20,000 gallon pump. Now, we do have, like the commercial one, we'll do up to 90,000 gallons a day. But unfortunately, we haven't gotten that yet, and I couldn't tell you the costs on it.
But you still could use it for, like, water features, or if I have a separate pump for water features?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Well, great. I'll give your office a call.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Super. Now, what are we talking about in a pool that's 20,000 gallons? Give me some dimensions here so our listeners can put it in their mind.
Well, we can do 5 by 10 by 200 feet deep. Length times width by its average size. Rob, that was a loaded question.
I don't need a mathematician. I need a guy that's going to tell me the size of the pool.
You said 20,000?
Yeah, I guess.
17 by 34, 3 to 6, 3 to 7.
That's a nice size pool.
That's a nice size pool. Mine holds 21,000. It's like 17 by 34. It is 7 feet deep.
And you're a pool guy, so 34. I mean,
yeah, it could be. If my grandkids had their way, we'd have. My granddaughter Morgan would love me to put a lazy river.
I'm saying this guy's got a really big yard, because by the time you add your deck and you add your screen, that pretty well fills up a backyard, a 34-foot pool.
Yeah, I'm bidding on a job right now that's 1,444 square foot of pool. It holds 56,000 gallons of water because he wants it 9 feet deep.
Lord.
Says he doesn't want his kids to hit the bottom. Said, dude, if you're going to hit the bottom, you're jumping off the second floor to hit the floor of the pool.
Hit the bottom with what, a fishing pole?
I don't know, but
9 feet. What's he, scuba diving in that thing?
But it's okay. I mean, I've done the deepest pool I've done residentially wise is 18 feet deep, and I did. It was for a
you're kidding me.
3-meter board.
Oh, competition divers.
Yeah,
okay.
3 meter and a 1 meter, 1 meter, a 3 meter. And I had a 44-foot slide on it, so you needed to have the depth. That was a pretty cool pool. That was a 25-meter pool.
Was that a cage around that thing?
No, wide open.
Oh, I was going to say,
Guess
where
what?
would you get a cage that high?
16 feet from the lake. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, 16 feet from the lake. I hit some serious water.
We
had the sheriff's department over there because we were running a well point pump, and it was running quiet. I mean, it was really quiet, running about 65 decibels. And neighbors, we built a box around it, we insulated it. Once we dug the pool, we had to run the well point. Had to. 7 days from the time we dug it to the time we shot the pool shell and pulled the pump. So yeah, 18 feet deep. Rob, can you imagine that?
So as you keep saying, and we don't even have a clue yet, amazing things can happen in your backyard.
Amazing things.
18 feet.
Yeah. It's technology allows you, if you really think about it, you can do how deep you want to go. My limitations on digging a swimming pool are my access and my equipment. If I can get in the backyard with a big piece of equipment, I can go 30 feet deep if you want to.
I mean, if you've got a scuba tank on your back, what is it? Every 5 feet or 6 feet, you're supposed to decompress?
I don't have a clue, but check this out.
I'm thinking, wait a minute.
Here my
18 feet.
Here my plaster Magic Marsite. They're having to hang a guy down by his foot to travel the wall. No, I'm teasing there. Could you imagine that? I mean, we have issues when we were doing 8 and 9 foot deep pools that break. It's hard to get up the break to trowel the finish. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah, think about that. Even a 9 or 10 foot deep pool, a guy can only reach up so high, and then a guy has to lay on his stomach and reach down to trowel the top part of the pool.
But somebody's got to get up that incline.
Oh, it's no fun. You ought to see the shoes we wear. They're pretty neat stuff. We don't wear regular shoes in those pools. So,
boy, what you don't learn on this crazy show,
you, man. This is great.
Pool Fanatics, promise you'll come back, Greg. This is very exciting. Solar.
Thank you very much for having me.
That's a pretty big pool, 34 feet, and you can do it with no